All right, legends, how's everybody doing? Hope you're doing fantastic, guys. Let's analyze the situation here today for the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other cryptos. Okay, we're going to be trying to understand a little bit what is to come. Are we going to get a recovery, or is this it, guys? Bear market. We're going to be analyzing the situation here, of course, seeing the major events that have happened like this in the past, right? We have seen these events happen, also these flash crashes and liquidity grabs in the past. Hang on a minute. Oh, I thought I already put myself here. I've got some issues today with connections, guys, so bear with me. My trading view is extremely laggy today. There we go. There we go. We are here. Phenomenal. Here we are. Legends, let's analyze the situation here together. Hope you have had a fantastic weekend. I have, and hopefully you also. I know a lot of people must have got, really hurt with this movement down, guys. Not as much on Bitcoin, of course. Bitcoin's still above 100k, right? Nothing too major. There's no signs of the bull market top to be in. This is something that we were also, taking into consideration that it could happen, right? We could see an ABC flat that could happen that has the potential of taking us down below 107k. Of course, when we talk about this, when the price is very bullish, a lot of people are too bullish, right? When the price is bullish, and you talk about bearish scenarios, people are very defensive and they're very like, what are you talking about? It's so bullish that we're just going to go up. And we need to talk about bullish and bearish cases. If the technical analysis gives us the possible projection for the bearishness, we need to talk about it, right? We are going to talk about bearish scenarios today, but also bullish ones, right? Obviously, after this crash, is it time to panic or get ready for a massive recovery? I want to talk about Ethereum as well, which still looks okay. Still looks pretty damn good. I actually like Ethereum where it has reached for a very good recovery. We need to talk about this. Of course, a lot of the altcoins, especially if, I got into an ICP leverage long, guys. I cannot sugarcoat any of this. It was the only swing long. The community is very much aware of that. And it got stopped out, not liquidated. I haven't burnt the account. It got stopped out. Okay, I was risking a small percentage, looking for a very ambitious recovery on this altcoin, season Q4. But I know many people that, and I have spoken to them personally. I actually got some messages. I might blur them out and share it with you tomorrow, guys. But a lot of people that have been leverage trading altcoins have, using cross margin, of course, right, and having limit orders, they have completely wiped out millions of dollars. People that I know here in Dubai. And this is why you need to have stop losses. You need to trade responsibly. I know there's lots of people that have taken a massive hit. Portfolio wise, I always recommend to mainly have Bitcoin in your portfolio, right? Make it over 50% of your portfolio. In my case, it's just around about 60% approximately. Then obviously Ethereum, some solid ones eventually, Chainlink in my case. And, I like to have 20%. That's my personal portfolio where I'm going to have a mix of altcoins. There's going to be 1% of my portfolio on each approximately, right? Dollar-wise. And, just take a shot, right? Take a shot for the next coming months or years or whatever it takes. If you have mainly Bitcoin in your portfolio and Ethereum, it depends where you've been buying also, right? It really depends on where you've been buying. But, for me, it was a stop loss on an altcoin and that's it, right? Nothing too major. But I know a lot of people have got hurt with this movement down on Bitcoin of over $20,000. And on altcoin, it's been ridiculous. On the futures exchanges, when you look at the spot exchanges, obviously on futures, you do get that extra move down of 10, 20, 30, even 40%. It's inevitable. It's a liquidity over leverage wipeout. And if you're not careful, you can lose all of your, all of your capital, right? Or even half of your capital, or 20%, or 30, 40, 50%. In my case, it was been a very, very small amount, less than 1%. So we need to, as traders also, we need to be defensive. As spot traders and leverage traders, we need to be defensive, guys. I'm a very conservative trader. I miss a lot of moves, but when we get these kind of events, I'll get stopped out maybe on 1 or 2 positions, literally, right? Very much aware of these kind of events when everything's very hyped up. October, we're feeling the hype, we're feeling the people really, with this Q4 thing. And then we have this event eventually, which is, when we talk about technical analysis, nobody liked this event, this ABC flat scenario, the potential of coming down to below 107K. And I had some comments saying 128 is coming next. Maybe then we get a correction down to the mid 110 levels. And, stuff like that. People that are just absolutely, blinded, only feeling bullish, only feeling bearish. We as traders and technical analysts, we need to understand the potential of the bearishness as well, right? We can't only be bullish. We can't only be bearish. We need to be pretty neutral. We can have a favorite scenario eventually and level by level, but we can't only be bullish or only be bearish, right? It's just, people that have only been bullish throughout the last 1 to 2 weeks and has been piling up into altcoins on leverage, they've been wiped out, guys. They've been absolutely wiped out. It has been a very, very bad time for many. I feel I did a little bit of a sad video yesterday just to say, wow, guys, I got stopped out. I'm fine. I'm worried about the people. I'm worried about the community, not because they've followed my, because I haven't been talking about let's long this, that, the other, right? But I know a lot of people have got hurt with this move. So I kind of feel, sorry for a lot of people, which haven't managed risk. They're not aware of these scenarios. And it's kind of it's a sad moment throughout the weekend. For me to think about other people, right? That I've actually spoken to people. I've got DMs as well, and I just feel super sorry because I am human and I have feelings for people, right? People that are in this industry, which is it can be very dangerous. It's a dangerous industry, right? If you do not have any responsibility with your capital. And I just want to make people that have got hurt, you're going to get over it. It's all good, right? You will recover with time. And let's go through the comment section, okay? Just want to get a little bit, sentiment. I got wrecked. I will not trade alts ever. Yeah, techno feet. I get you. I get you. Especially in this industry. I mainly do Bitcoin, right? We mainly do Bitcoin technical analysis. I've been fitting in Ethereum lately because, Ethereum is a solid crypto. It's high market cap, right? It does have several hundred billion market capitalization. It's pretty mature. But when we talk about altcoins that have 1 billion, 2 billion, right? 500 million, these are, the manipulation that can be on these ones is extremely easy, especially the exchanges can manipulate very easily these cryptocurrencies, right? Altcoins, and most of the crypto channels are going to favor altcoins, right? They talk about Bitcoin, but a lot of them talk about this crypto opportunity, this crypto, this altcoin, this narrative, AI. And if you only focus on altcoins because you think Bitcoin's not going to give me the returns, right? If I want to make a 2x on Bitcoin, it needs to go on spot. It needs to go to $200,000 plus. So I need to risk my capital on altcoins where I can make a 5x, I can make a 10x. And over 90% of them are just going to die off, right? This is what happened on the previous cycle. It will happen on this cycle as well. So, yeah, I mean, I get it. Lots of people feel excited with altcoins. That's where I'm going to make my gains. This happened on the previous cycle. Look at this one. It did a 40x. This one did a 60x. This, it's going to happen again. Maybe with AI, maybe with decentralized exchanges this time. There's going to be these niches and everybody wants to chase that narrative that's going to make them that 50x plus. And yeah, so I just want, altcoins are dangerous, especially when you're using leverage, guys. I am really not an altcoin trader, as most of you do know. I mainly trade Bitcoin like 90% of the times. I'm putting in a little bit of Ethereum at the moment, and I'll have maybe one or two altcoins that I'll, attempt a swing trade, such as 𝗖𝗍𝗂𝗍, which has been a complete failure. So, but I manage risk myself. I'm like, guys, I'm risking like super small amount here because I'm literally betting on a big projection to plus $20 in the case of 𝗖𝗍𝗂𝗍. So we need to be very, very cautious, guys, very, very cautious. I know people on many channels that just go on, promoting, apart from the exchanges, long in every single altcoin, right? It's time to go full on long. And if you had many leveraged long positions on several altcoins, I can tell you, you got wiped out. You must have got wiped out. When we do take a look at, you name it, right? And especially on leverage exchanges, most of the cryptos, if you go to spot on Coinbase, you will see that the wick that we had on Friday didn't go that low. And when you look at Binance futures, US dollar tether perpetual, Bybit, Binance, you name it, right? All of the futures, different exchanges, the movement has been a little bit more, right? Some 20, others 30% extra than on spot, which is clearly a liquidation hunt. A lot of them below the bear market lows, right, of 2022. So yeah, if you've been heavily on altcoins with leverage, you've got, lots of people got wiped out, right? And if you're using cross margin with no stop loss and you have limit longs on the way down, you get your limit longs filled and then empty your account, right? This is what happens, right? I understand that this does happen because, I have done this before in the past, in the previous cycle. And yeah, this is so dangerous, so dangerous. This way of trading, of having limit longs with no stop loss because I want more capital in, it's going to reverse at some point. When you get these events, it wipes out your entire account, right? So yeah, we want to be cautious. I'm in favor of mainly Bitcoin, guys, right? You know that. I mainly do Bitcoin analysis. We try and go level to level. It's fun to look at the higher time frame projections, which is looking at, this possible flat scenario. We have a 3-wave move down to the upside. This could be a very aggressive move down, much more aggressive than this. Either running flat or expanding flat that can actually get well below 107K, which is, something that we are aware of. And if this happens to Bitcoin, then altcoins are cooked, right? So yeah, we go level to level on trading. On the Legends Pro community, we do daily updates, myself, 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽𝗍, okay? And we actually talked about a short position in this zone of 122.3, 122.4, which I do know a couple of people have, did actually get into that short position to claim the lows, right? Level to level. This short to claim the lows because we had a contracting diagonal potential, right? And in the Legends Pro, we talk about mainly Bitcoin, at least myself and 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽𝗍. And one of the projections, one of the scenarios here was actually, looking for this potential pattern, right? It's one scenario. and looking for a short at the 122.2, 122.3k zone, which was the golden pocket from the latest move, to then come down back to test the lows. And let's see the reaction at that zone, because we need a recovery, we need a pump, right, to really, be interested potentially in a long in this case, right? But the overall, we talked about a long trade here. This was likely going to be corrective, so we're looking for the local highs to be claimed. We're analyzing the 5-15 minute time frame a lot daily in the Legends Pro community, because we look for internal day trades as well, right? Scalp and day trades, scenarios. And this was one of them, right? My video update from Friday was, this movement is, likely corrective, okay? And we are looking for the local highs to be claimed. So if we move down first, there is an interesting long area. But if we move up from this zone, which is highly likely corrective to claim the local highs, we can be looking for a short here, which is the, from the range of the last few days, point of control, golden pocket, previous day, value area high, and previous day point of control as well, just above 122.2k, which we managed to hit 122.4, and then we started the crash. So, if some people did hold that short trade, well, inevitably they're making insane gains eventually, right? As you're taking profit to the downside. But we go level to level as well, right? We talk about day trading, scalping setups, but this was one of the pattern projections. Maybe we form a contracting diagonal and then we get the bounce. We need a bounce and we need proof of support inevitably, right? There was no long trade to be taken down here. Based on the daily update that we provided on Friday in the Legends Pro on the Telegram. So, people that got into this short eventually made bank if they're holding that short, right? Throughout this crash that we had on Friday. So level to level is what we like to do mainly on Bitcoin, right? So this was an update in the Legends Pro community from Friday, which was, let's see if Tradingview, I need to refresh Tradingview. I'm not sure what's going on because it's very, very laggy. It's not the internet connection. I think I need to do clear cache, clear history here, because Tradingview, I don't know what's going on. It's going extremely laggy for me at the moment. But yeah, this was one of the short scenarios from Friday, and it was understanding this movement as well, right? We got a rally. And we got this overlappy structure. I focused on Friday to analyze the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame and understand the structure. The Legends Pro know this. The outcome on Friday inside of the video update was to take out these highs, because this is likely corrective and we would like to see a 3-wave move up. And we understand many scenarios. This was a lot of resistance up here. And we were looking for a possible short to at least claim these lows, which is a movement of $3,000 approximately, right? It's a nice day trade. And, we got the movement down, absolutely collapsing on Friday, as you do know. But it was very, very technical. This was corrective. We had a lot of resistance here. So yeah, and kind of a swing failure pattern from these local highs is one scenario here. Then we got the liquidation event, right? We got the massive collapse that was pretty fascinating to see later on, because I was out with my missus on Friday. We went out for dinner, we had a drink, right? I try and stay away on Friday and couldn't do a live stream. I would have loved to do a live stream here watching this, but I was out, guys. I do enjoy time as well with my missus and out with friends. And yeah, this happened on Friday evening, which was like, I checked it when I was out and I was like, wow. We'll get to this later on throughout the next coming days. Anyway, we need to do some analysis. We need to do some projection. I've literally been a little bit off the chart on the weekend. Weekends are to chill out, guys. I feel extremely sorry for people that have, maybe got into, I know that people have got burnt. We can see it on the comment section, right? It's inevitable, right? Not by following myself, because, if you followed me, there's, very, very likely you didn't get into any altcoin longs or any of that. We mainly do Bitcoin. We are pumping, says Angelo. So I just know that a lot of people got hurt with this move. It's a classic movement, especially taking a look at altcoins. Many different altcoins that I've checked on exchanges have been, basically going much lower than expected. 10x long Bitcoin from 109, riding it up to 120k, says Jonathan. There we go. There we go. Daniel Singleton, Staffer One, much love. Slap up the like button. We are pumping. Hello, Andy and folks. Simple 3 Jack. Absolutely wonderful. Let me go through the comment section. I'm dancing to this trance. Let's go. Okay, the intro music. Macarena, much love. Crypto Gardenist. How are you doing, my man? Much love. I want to go through comment section a little bit, guys. Then we can discuss a little bit Bitcoin. But I want to discuss Ethereum because I did a video on Friday morning talking about how bullish Ethereum is. It didn't get too much love because I mainly do Bitcoin. I think people are here for Bitcoin analysis, not Ethereum. It's like, you're a Bitcoin analyst and trader. Why are you doing Ethereum or altcoins, right? I don't trust your altcoin analysis because you mainly do Bitcoin. But we talked about, so I was like talking about how bullish Ethereum looks. My goodness, not even 3,000 views, which is, people don't like my altcoin analysis, not even Ethereum. But it was just going through how Ethereum is still in the ratio, right, of very, very bullish. I'm still heavily leaning that we are in a wave 4, and wave 4s are usually longer and complex. And you might think, screw your Elliott wave analysis, because this was the whole tariff drop, right? 19 billion liquidation, manipulation from exchanges, taking advantage of the whole tariff, with China, from Donald Trump on Friday. It's on the technicals as well, right? The technical analysis is there, right? Regardless on Bitcoin, we are aware that we could come back down to 107k. It sounds unreal, but it's a projection that we have based on the technicals. It's a projection that we have on the technicals. We can reject from this all-time high and come down. And in an ABC flat, your C wave is aggressive in a flat. It's an impulse. It's a very aggressive move down. And, you're just aware that could happen, right? This movement down on Bitcoin kind of didn't catch me as surprised, because it's one scenario that we talked about in the last, give or take 1 to 2 weeks. And then Ethereum, right? Then Ethereum, which we did talk about how, there's a good chance that the low could be in. High probability to take out all-time highs in the next coming weeks, but we could form a sideways still complex range, WXY. These are complex. You could get that movement down below 3,800, then get the bounce later on. We're still looking at all of this structure to be corrective. So this is kind of still inside of the plan. It's still inside of the plan. And what you do not want to see on Ethereum is literally come down to the golden pocket from this pivot low to the pivot high. And we bounced exactly at the 50% Fibonacci, which is, common for a wave 4 as well. As long as we do not get below 3,200, the market structure is still very bullish. We just swept the lows. This movement that, I see on Ethereum is extremely corrective price action. We can come down below this low. That's totally fine. We need to talk about the bearish outcome, which is getting a move down below 3,800 and then getting the bounce, right? Which is kind of what's happening at the moment after that Friday drop that we did drop below 3,800. We got to about 3,500, right? Approximately, just above 3,500. I'm still bullish, guys. This is just something that has happened, just a major liquidation that's happened. So it's still one of the projections. Sweep up this low, but the price action that has formed on Ethereum is extremely corrective. From this movement down, 3 wave down, this bounce, claiming this lower high, there is nothing, I can't say nothing eventually, right? High probability this is a corrective structure, and yeah, you can wick down beneath the low. That's totally fine. It's something that we talked about on Friday on Ethereum's update. There was a chance for this to be the low, but we need to talk about the sweep of the low and then get the bounce. You can reclaim the low here again. That's totally fine, right? As long as you're above the 3,200, which I do believe it's not going to reach it. Unlikely that we're going to hit this low. So anything can happen here still. Test the low, because when you get such a severe move down, you can feel the wick, right? You can feel on the higher time frame that big move down, right? It's the classic dead cat bounce, and then feel the move down, and then you're looking for a double bottom scenario. But you can still get a major recovery, and yeah, maybe this is the low. Just because these events, maybe this could be the low for Ethereum, right? Let's just say maybe for the moment, because when we go through past major liquidation events, such as the C19 crash, which is the most obvious one, we ain't going to go through 2015 or 16. That's low. Market cap was too low then. It was actually low here as well. I'm not sure what was the market cap on Bitcoin down here, but I think it was around about 100 billion maybe or so, 150. I don't know exactly the numbers, but it was still relatively small. But when we got this liquidation event, C19 crash, right, in March of 2020, we didn't come back down to fill the wick. We did reject a little bit, but we did not come back down. FTX collapse is another one, right? We saw Celsius, BlockFi, FTX, many different lending platforms, plus one of the largest exchanges in the US, which was FTX. We did feel the move down here. But these major liquidation events, which were very, very sharp, and they were, big daily movements down, they marked a bottom, right? They did mark a bottom, just so you know that. These big flushes mainly mark a bottom. That's what we know from the information that we have in the past. Is this time different and it's not going to happen, the bear market starting? I don't think so, but this is crypto. This is the wild, wild west. What we know based on information from the previous, years, that when we have such a severe liquidation event, it usually marks the bottom. It's a flush. It's a reset of the market just to go to higher levels later on, right? Of course, that creates extreme fear. This is good. This is good, guys. This is healthy. This is actually pretty damn good. So it's not something that I would worry about. Bitcoin's getting a little bit of a bounce. We're going to do a little bit of technical analysis right now and try and understand what are the different scenarios, right? Apparently, on Monday, it looks like that we could be seeing a recovery, because all of this tariff nonsense, right, was a mistake. It was a mistake. Tariffs with China, US. Oh, sorry, guys. We're going to get it into a deal, and yeah, calm down. Everything's going to recover. But that was enough excuse to create this massive liquidation event, right? Which is highly manipulated, in my personal opinion. When you do go through the futures platforms, it's not acceptable that you see, for example, on Chainlink, Bitcoin dominance getting a nice rejection. I think Bitcoin dominance is going to roll over. We were looking for a rally on the Bitcoin dominance, not a massive spike. And this could be it, guys. This could be the top of the Bitcoin dominance. Just a massive flush, reset of the market. So I'm kind of feeling bullish about this scenario. But when you do take a look at ADA, for example, ADA is a good example. When you go ADA, US dollar tether perpetual, and let's go to Binance, right? And let's get another one here. I really want to go through Ethereum BTC chart as well, just to explain how bullish it looks. It's just super. It's like, it's perfect technical analysis, which is, we're looking for a massive rebound on Ethereum, massive recovery to all-time high, in my opinion, guys. So yeah, I just want to show ADA on Coinbase, for example, right, on spot, and compare the wick that we had. Holy crap, guys, this is insane. Oh, on Binance we went to 27 cents, right? This is like, how come on Coinbase, man, my Tradingview is not loading here. Sorry about that, guys. I will look to figure this out. I think I just need to refresh history here and make it clean, because it's extremely laggy. I'll fix this tomorrow, but it's the weekend. Come on. ADA on Coinbase spot on Friday reached, we got another low here on Saturday created, but I mean, that's irrelevant. 60 cents, right? 61 cents on Coinbase, legends. And on Binance, we got this futures, US dollar tether, 27 cents. Clearly a manipulation from exchange. Wipe all of the, you know how much money these exchanges are making with this wipe on these altcoins. It's insane. They must have made, I'm happy to say billions, guys. I'm really confident to say billions of dollars on Binance alone, taking the money out from people. It kind of feels illegal, guys. It kind of feels illegal for these exchanges to actually create this kind of event, because it's just a liquidity wipe, right? It's just a massive liquidity wipe. It's actually going down beneath the lows that were created here in 2024, right? So why why on Coinbase spot? Yeah, it's pretty damn clear, right? It's pretty damn clear that the exchanges took advantage to manipulate the price eventually to drop another what is it? What is the difference from Coinbase spot 60 cents? It's actually ridiculous, guys. You're right. Pure manipulation from exchanges down to, on Coinbase we dropped 60 to 60 cents on ADA. On Binance we dropped another 50%, just as a, just drop it another 50, right? And grab as much liquidity to the downside. It's absolute insanity, guys. When you can see the hard manipulation from these exchanges, just grabbing that liquidity. And yeah, these exchanges are mainly B books. They're B books, right? And whoever doesn't know about A books and B books, A books is when you go to the open market and you're trading against people. But on these exchanges, they are B books, which means they have all of the liquidity from everybody, all of the capital that me and you deposit. It's on the exchange, and you don't trade against myself or other people in an open market like the CME exchange, right? The regulated exchanges out there, which is A book. You trade against other people. Whoever has the biggest capital and has the biggest moves and the biggest technical trading skills beats other traders, right? But on these exchanges, you trade against the exchange, literally. They have all of the capital of everybody, which, I mean, it's totally fine. In crypto, it's what you do. You need to trade on these exchanges. I trade on them. It's totally fine. But you just need to be careful for these kind of events. You need to be careful from these kind of events, because once in a while, give or take once a year, maybe, or once every other, few months or 2 years, you will get these events. These events happen. And that's what you need to protect yourself, right? This is why I am not in favor, ever been in favor from the history of this channel that putting limit longs here beneath this low to fill in my, you know, huge bag so I can make millions of dollars later on. And what happens is it fills the limit longs and it liquidates you, and then it gets the bounce, right? Because I mean, people usually use more than a 5x leverage. Come on. If you use a 2-3x leverage, then you might have been okay. But I understand that over 90% of the people are using 5, 10, 20x, and you are cooked with an altcoin like this. When you drop over 70%, 65%, even with a 2x, you're getting cooked, right? So yeah, guys, stay safe with these altcoins. I mean, this is actually good for the market, guys. We can see a massive recovery happening in the next coming weeks, right? These are absolutely incredible flushes and healthy for the market. You know, it's actually pretty damn good. Let's go through the comp section and let's do a little bit of Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis. I'm very bullish on Ethereum, guys. Very, very bullish. I only sold 15% of my spot bag at all-time high. I sold 15% of my spot bag on Bitcoin here. The community knows about that, which is good. You know, I'm actually kind of excited because I do have some spare cash on the sidelines here, but not a bad moment to get into this drop on a few cryptos, in my opinion. Good ones, solid ones that are likely going to recover. But anyway, let's go through the comment section and say hello to the beautiful community. Enough talk, right? Just the comparison of ADA was absolutely insane, guys. Just want to explain to you about B-books and A-books, and how these exchanges want to grab your money. This is billions of dollars throughout all of the, you know, Binance is a multi-billion crypto exchange, and this is unacceptable. It seriously is unacceptable. You cannot have an exchange that drops to 60 cents in the case of ADA on spot. Of course, on spot, it's in their best interest, maybe not to come down as low to get your spot long, you know, not longs, spot limit buys. So it's unacceptable that they stop at 60 cents in the case of ADA here. And, you know, these future exchanges, they drop another extra 50% to catch all of those stop losses or liquidations. It's actually unacceptable, guys. It seriously is unacceptable, right? So mainly for altcoins, I trade on these exchanges. I love them. They're great. I don't get, you know, for me, these are events that, yeah, I might have an altcoin open and it gets stopped out. That's it. It's not the end of the game of the world. But I know it's extremely dangerous for irresponsible traders. But it is what it is, right? It's the price that you need to pay. But for me, it's unacceptable. There's so many people that get hurt with this. But I guess it's your responsibility. But you cannot have an exchange that has this difference of price. You cannot have a 50% difference of price compared to another exchange. It's clearly manipulation. The exchanges want to eat billions of dollars from liquidity. Anyway, let's go here right away. Arin, thanks for the super chat. Would you look at US dollar tether dominance? It's scary unless we break below 4.6%. Let's take a look at US dollar tether. I guess US dollar tether dominance or the stable coin dominance. Let's go through, yeah, just a major pump and dump, I guess. It looks scary. Why? This is part of the liquidation. Stablecoin dominance is going to get that spike when you have a major liquidity grab. It's natural. There's nothing really to analyze. I got my Tradingview. It's not loading, guys. I really cannot take a look at many cryptos today. We're going to focus on Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame. I need to refresh here the history in 𝗬ście, but we'll go through Ethereum and go through Bitcoin. Okay, I really need to fix this. it's you know, you need to, I'll do this later on today so it doesn't happen on tomorrow's stream. It happens once in a while. You just need to yeah, basically refresh Tradingview from scratch. Let's go through comment section. This is a pump and dump basically on US dollar tether dominance. There's not much to talk about that. Anyway, smash up the like button, guys, if you do enjoy the content. Thanks for joining. Lots of people wondering about this liquidation event. Let me know what you think about the rest of the altcoins. With that, got my mother here. It's my mother's birthday, by the way. Say happy birthday to my mother, guys. Very, very special woman. I love her to bits. She's awesome. She's been my #1 follower. It's her birthday today, guys. So if you know, want to say happy birthday to my mum, who's in the comment section, you can do that. Anyway, I hope everybody's safe. Stay cautious with altcoins, right? When you know, seems like late now, but we need to be responsible with our trading, right? This whole thing, I know people that went full on long, guys, full on long. I have limit longs to the downside just in case, so they get filled. And there will be a dump once in a while that does not stop, and it will dump 60-70%, right? And if you're using more than a 3x leverage, highly likely you're going to get wiped out, which was the case. So it's not something to laugh about, right? Because people, you know, people this weekend, a lot of people, I would say thousands and tens of thousands of people, right, worldwide, literally got wiped out. And I feel super sorry. I do feel super sorry. It's unacceptable that you get these different prices on exchanges. But this is crypto, guys, right? Who are you going to claim this difference of move, right? Are you going to go to Binance? Are you going to take them to court? I don't think so, right? So it is what it is, guys. Dangerous. And, you know, we focus on Bitcoin mainly, right? We like to do Bitcoin. We can look for an altcoin. Singularity X lost everything on Friday. Crypto ruined my life. I don't even know what to do. My man, we will build together. We will look for opportunities. We look for day trading setups on Bitcoin. We have responsibility. We have stop losses. We have invalidation points. On Friday, we talked about a long and short. If you take out the highs, not interested in the long. And we're forming a 3-wave move up. We can collapse and take out this low. Not expecting this as of yet, but this is an outcome. There's no long trades to be taken in this area. We didn't have any plan. We go level to level. We talk about the daily setups, and the daily setup from Friday was shorting here. This was a short scenario, reject from the highs, stop loss above the rejection. That was the plan from Friday in the Legends Pro community, to take out this low. I'm not saying that we predicted this movement down. I mean, we talked about this on you know, the last few weeks, that this is possible. An ABC flat to actually take out 107k is a technical scenario that could happen. Then obviously we talk about the bullish ones, but we talk about bullish and bearish, right? And on Friday we talked about a day trading plan, which was a short or a long. And if we take out this high, we do not look for longs anymore, because we have the potential of coming down to test this low, and then we need to see the reaction and see what's going on to even consider a long position. But we had no long trades to be taken down here. And that was on Friday, right? We create daily plans, all right, on possible projections. The level of rejection here, the day trade to be taken, was hit the local highs. We reject, possible entry at the golden pocket or point of control, where we can treat it as a swing failure pattern. As soon as we reject, we can enter and put stop loss at the highs, and we are targeting the lows, right? That's a day trade, right? I'm not saying that I was expecting the movement, the liquidation event on Friday, but it was a good setup, local day trade setup. I know my risk management. I know my entry. I know the projection, which was taking out the lows, right? This was the projection that we had on Friday to come down to test the lows, right? From that level. And yeah, basically, this is what we were looking for. Entry point, start taking profit point. We get an extra crash later on. Well, that's, even better, right? We can hold, can hold that short position, but we need to trade responsibly, guys. Looking for day trade setups, level to level is kind of the way, right? It's the way to go. And as 𝗖𝗿𝗍𝗍 was saying, anybody that's interested in joining the Legends Pro community, which is educational, we talk about scenarios. You do have the link, which is in the middle, okay, for the Legends Pro. Join the Legends community on Telegram, where we have daily updates and scenarios. And this was one of them from Friday, okay? You have it right there in the middle if anybody is interested in joining, of course. As 𝗖𝗿𝗍𝗍𝗍 was saying, I've lost everything on crypto. I'm not sure if it is true or not. I know you've been following for a long time. I hope that is not the case. But it would have to do with, being in leverage long positions on altcoins, I would assume, right? So yeah. Yeah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Thanks, guys. Much love to everybody, okay? That's saying happy birthday to my mum here in the comment section. Let's yeah, 𝗖𝗿𝗍𝗍𝗍. I feel really bad about this. Lost everything on Friday. We could not afford to lose everything. Okay, we cannot afford to lose everything. I took a hit, guys, but it was a little hit. For me, it's move on. I am extremely worried about people that, like you, that have got, that have really lost, maybe all of their savings that they had in crypto or, with leverage. Super cautious with leverage, especially with altcoins, guys. None of us would be possible without you, Mum. Yes, very true, Dan Renz. Much love to you, brother. Anyway, about this ADA, guys, what do you think about these exchanges getting that massive extra wick? I mean, ADA is one example, but you can take a look at any crypto, literally. And throughout the futures exchanges, it created an extra wick of 50% in the case of ADA. When you take a look at smaller altcoins, we're talking about 60, 70, even 80% from spot exchanges. And this is what created eventually that, burn. And whoever's trading on cross margin with no stop loss, they've been wiped out in this event. And these exchanges get overloaded, right? Who experienced overload on Friday? I'm sure a lot. I was out, so I wasn't, I didn't have any positions. I wasn't worried. I get stopped out of that ICP trade. It's fine. It's okay. It's a loss that I'm happy to take. But I'm sure there was overload. I think I saw a Binance tweet that they were experiencing overload on trades. And bring the money back, Satoshi. Yeah. I'm sure there was overload on exchanges on Friday with this movement down. People trying to short, long, close their positions, move stop loss, enter more capital. There was for sure overload because it's a kind of event where people, hundreds of thousands of people, right? Even millions, all go on the exchange. And these exchanges can take 100,000 trades per second. Bluffin, Binance, all of the main modern ones, right? They do take over 100,000 trades per second. But if there's millions of people at the same time wanting to, long, short, close their positions, and limit trades, market trades, if there's millions of people at the same time in the few seconds, they're gonna suffer some overload based on volatility, right? This is why you should have your plan ready. Stop loss hit, then it's okay. But holy smokes, let me know, guys, if your exchange did suffer overload. on Por la Mamá, feliz cumpleaños, says Rudy. Thank you very much, brother. Much love to you. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for everybody saying happy birthday. That's definitely gonna make her happy. Andy, please teach out your strategy once. Look, strategy, my main strategy has been mainly day trading, right? Got a little bit more into swing trading in the last few months. On ICP it didn't work out, but on Ethereum it did work out. On Bitcoin it did work out very nicely throughout August. September was good on an Ethereum short. You guys know that. I'm going to get more into day trading again, especially with the Legends Pro community. And it's all creating daily plans. You look at levels of confluence, we analyze elite wave theory, and we have confluence areas where the price can bounce or reject with good risk management. And the Friday update was mainly looking for day trade setup. Understanding what is highly likely locally here, I explained how locally it was highly likely that the local highs are going to be taken. Despite taking out the lows first, then we could look for a long to the local highs, which is a little move. And if we take out the highs first, then we're looking for the short directly from this level to take up this low. So it's a very, very intraday setup. Of course, people that held that short are very, very happy, right? We didn't have any long trade plans beneath this low. If you're moving and you're rolling over, let it go, guys. Let it go. We need proof of support. We need a little range. The ranges are the best to really analyze the market situation. The analysis that was made on Friday with the Legends, with this little range, was simple. Highly likely we take the highs. If we take out the lows first, we can actually long to take out the highs because it's still the highest probability. And if we take out the highs first, we look for a short down to the lows, right? So these aggressive moves, you literally want to stay away from them. People will have FOMO to try and short, which is, still okay. If the price is moving down, it's in your best interest to kind of go with the waterfall. It's really not. I literally don't look to do anything here with these volatile moves. Watch it. It's going to stop at some point. Tomorrow's another day. So we can analyze the market tomorrow, right? When we form a little range, we can analyze the market when it stops. So it's super important. And that's the emotion that we need to train, right? When the market is moving aggressively, let it go. Let it go. There will be a moment that the price stops, creates a bounce, and forms a range. That range can be studied and analyzed to really understand where we have the opportunities, which was literally the Friday update. When you got this volatile move, let it go. We'll analyze it tomorrow and see what happens later on, right? So anyway, let's go through the comment section. Today's a little bit of a Sunday. I was gonna talk about the possible preparation. Anyway, something good about this drop. If this bounce on Ethereum, it's already looking pretty good. I actually feel better to analyze Ethereum today than Bitcoin, guys. Let's do Ethereum because I think Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin in the next coming weeks. And I can explain that looking at the Ethereum BTC chart, looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, if Tradingview does allow this to me today, because it's not playing ball. But yeah, Ethereum, the plan remains. Bitcoin, we understood that we could get down below 107K last week. We understood that. This is a scenario. And a C wave of a flat, they are aggressive. And yeah, okay, the tariffs and the manipulation, but it is a projection. A C wave is aggressive. A C wave can be aggressive in a flat. And that's literally what happened. We got a very, very aggressive move down on Friday. The plan on Ethereum remains. Nothing has changed on Ethereum. We are still holding in between the 50% and the 382 Fibonacci. We are holding this higher time frame order block. We understand that this movement to the downside is a 3-wave move after this bounce, taking out this lower high, the probabilities still remain to take out all-time high, and that we are still looking for a wave 4. We bounced exactly at the 50%, which is completely fine. Still in a wave 4. 382, 50% is still in the wave 4 region, as long as you do not hit the golden pocket, which is an invalidation for a wave 4. We're still very much in the range, and what wave 4s are very common to form a sideways WXY or even a double zigzag. They're very choppy, very complex. After a big wave 3, after a big wave 4s can be extremely tricky to understand. This is why on Friday morning we talked about one of the scenarios that was getting below 3,800, which actually happened on Friday. So we need to talk about the different outcomes, but the probabilities are still to hit all-time high, right? Nothing has changed despite this scary move. It's actually better for a massive recovery. It's actually good for the market to get extreme fear. So this is the classic moment where crypto and the industry wipes out the people, and it pumps, in the case of Ethereum, to new all-time highs. This is literally a good thing for a recovery. It gets everybody out, everybody, shitting their pants, excuse my language, to then, get a massive pump and leave half of the people that were in the last few weeks out of the market. Wipes them out and then leaves without them. It's unfortunate, but it's literally how it works, right? Happy birthday, dear Andy. It's my birthday too. Yeah, it's my mum's birthday. So yeah, thank you very much for that. It's your birthday as well. Happy birthday to you, my man. Much love. Much love to you, 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍 M. Thanks for the super chat. Much love. 𝗬𝗍𝘆, my man. Hi, legends. 𝗬𝗍𝘆 is here in the comment section. Anybody that doesn't know 𝗬𝗍𝘆, go and check him out. He's also a coach in the Legends Pro community. Absolute legend. Everybody loves 𝗬𝗍𝘆. Go and check his channel out because he does provide, I think he did a live stream today, guys. Go and check out 𝗬𝗍𝘆 because he gives great value analysis, looking for setups and scenarios, great educational content, okay, and technical analysis, mainly on Bitcoin as well. Check out 𝗬𝗍𝘆, guys. So, yeah, let's go. Mum wouldn't be happy with that potty mouth. Yeah, very true, very true. With that potty mouth. Dan Renz, very true. Baby G, 𝗬𝗍𝘆, great stream earlier. I got into those same blue chips, very low leverage. I find myself wanting to move my stop loss though. I know they need room to breathe. It's a bit tough, deep in profit. Baby G, stay cautious. Stay cautious. Okay, the big move in the liquidation event has happened. I would not expect ADA next week to create another wick to fill, and drop another 20-30% below this wick, right? That's unlikely to happen. The major liquidation has already happened, guys, right? But we want to really do some solid analysis in the next coming days, especially on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm extremely bullish on Ethereum, guys. What can I say? Ethereum BTC chart looks awesome. We were aware about this rejection exactly at this order block a few weeks ago, guys. We were aware of Ethereum rejecting from this zone a few weeks ago on that wave 4. This is the main reason I shorted Ethereum back in August, which was a very successful trade, because we're analyzing the projection, the internal waves, the resistance that we have here on the Ethereum BTC chart. And we're looking at the same thing here for Ethereum US dollar chart. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, explosive, massive, and wave 4, which also bounced at the 50% Fibonacci. People get distracted with the liquidation event and the tariffs, but this is still following the technical point. 382 to 50% is where your wave 4 usually bounces from. Ethereum BTC chart, I do expect the highs to be taken in the coming weeks. Nothing has changed despite that little shakeout from Friday. Ethereum BTC looks awesome, guys. As explained on Friday's video, which did not get any love, I'm not doing any more altcoin updates, guys. Ethereum updates. Screw that. They don't get any love. People are here for live streams, Bitcoin mainly. But Ethereum is very strong, technically speaking. And the fact that we've moved like this, hot man. You know, it cannot be any more corrective than this. So, I mean, we don't want to get extremely excited because the market will do whatever it wants at the end of the day, but it's all about probabilities, and the probabilities are still very high for Ethereum to take out this high and to not take out the golden pocket. This is your hard invalidation. $3,200. That's your hard invalidation when we consider an impulsive move on Ethereum. Wave 5 can be an extended fifth wave. It doesn't matter. We're looking to test the all-time high. It might be a double top. It might go to $7,000. Someone asking here on the super chats, thanks for the 74 dirhams. Much love to you, my man. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍. Where you see Ethereum topping by end of November. I'm wanting to long 𝗖𝗍𝗆𝗍 soon. Okay, we can talk about that. Let's go through that right away. Usually I am silent, but I am also happy that I survived. Crypto Gardenist, very good job. I only hold Ethereum. Your analysis is super appreciated, says Bolo. Yeah, much love, Bolo. Thank you very much. Anyway, where do I see Ethereum topping at the end of November? Let's just get this out of the way. You know, I would not label this movement on Ethereum as this the wave 3, this the wave 4, and this the wave 5. It's a possible count that, and this is what's distracting about Ethereum. Can I label this as the wave 4? And you can technically. It's a little bit shallow compared. Well, it's not that shallow. You know, if you're labeling this your wave 1 on Ethereum, and it's actually better to fit this wave 1 right over here, just because you have a multiple 1, 2 right there, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 4 and 5. So it's actually pretty. It's better to label this zigzag down as your wave 2 in the case of Ethereum. So what worries me here on Ethereum is this being your wave 4. Okay, that's what worries me, because your wave 5, I mean, your wave 3 is not the smallest wave, so it's technically possible. It is technically possible that this has been your impulse for Ethereum. However, where I've been confident on literally saying there is a good probability that the local highs are going to be taken, despite of whatever happens here, taking out below 3,800 or not, is the way we've moved down. The way we've moved down here and got this bounce is very, very corrective price action. So I'm personally quite confident to say that I am looking for Ethereum to hit new all-time highs. But it's all probabilities, right? It's all probabilities. The only good reason I would say for Ethereum for this to be a 5-wave move to the upside would be a contracting diagonal here. You got a zigzag down, a double zigzag. You know, you form this movement down here, and then another zigzag up, zigzag down, and form. Well, in this case, it would be expanding, but literally, boom, 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 right, a zigzag here, and then another move down, a contracting diagonal here in a 5-wave up, leading diagonal where you get the bounce later on, and then you roll over. I would only say that the only way where I can find a motive wave to the downside here is we need a 5-wave motive move down, and with the information that we got on the chart, a contracting diagonal that needs to still build up because we're not even formed the wave 3 is the information that we need. It's the only way we can fit a motive wave down, which is, you know, obviously not the case. We're still very bullish. We got a liquidation event. This is actually good for a reset. Hang on a minute, guys. Yeah, just putting a little bit of the music. Anyway, yeah, let's continue with this. Sorry about that. There is no motive wave down, right? There's no impulsive move. There's no 5-wave move to the downside from the rejection of all-time high on Ethereum. We formed a 3-wave zigzag, a massive rally taking out this high, which tells me that what you're forming in this zone is likely corrective, and we are looking to take out new all-time highs. The only bearish scenario that I can come up with here to build a bearish structure would be a diagonal to the downside where you have a 3-wave down, double zigzag here. And this, this is a very, very nice double zigzag possible count. You could form an impulse here as well. But a zigzag up correction and another zigzag here, very sharp zigzag right there. So you've got a double zigzag situation right over here. So 3-wave down, double zigzag up, and there's actually a problem here for it would still be possible eventually, but you literally have to connect your wave 1 with your wave 3 potentially in here. The only way to count a motive wave, which can be bearish eventually, is labeling this as your wave 1 as a 3-wave structure, double zigzag here as your wave 2. This could be for the moment, it's a liquidation event. It could be a 𝗬𝗚𝗍𝗍𝒁. Your Z has been very sharp. I wouldn't like to label this a wave 3. I would like to see kind of a 3-wave move here, better. But literally forming one more low in the next 1 to 2 weeks, I could only see the motive wave. If we were to form something like this, then I would say we got a possible motive wave to the downside, which inevitably is going to get a bounce, and I would be cautious. I'm not favoring this scenario, guys. If you are in a bull market, right? I'm not favoring this scenario at all. I am favoring the scenario of we are in the wave 4 with high probability. Corrective WXYs in a sideways correction have higher probability than any type of diagonal that can be constructed. Always, especially in a very strong uptrend. So you need to consider them eventually. We can't only say it's bullish, this, that. We can really be confident on the probability side that, yeah, we have high probability that Ethereum is likely going to new all-time high in the coming weeks, purely based on the correction in the structure that we've formed since all-time high. There's nothing bearish about this movement, this zone from all-time high rejection. There's nothing bearish that I can see anyway for the moment. It's actually bullish. One of the scenarios from Friday's update video, which, I did say there's a good chance that this could be the low, but we got the liquidation event on Friday. But then we sweep up this low and we start to recover later on. There's nothing bearish about this. All of the scenarios mentioned were corrective because we're not considering anything bearish here. But the most bearish one is actually getting below 3,800, which is what happened on Friday, and now we're getting this nice bounce. So you asked me with a super chat, where do I see the top? I see us taking out all-time high. That's the best information that I could give you at the moment. When we consider an impulse in a 5-wave move, the common target of your 5-wave, your 5th wave, is hitting the 0.618, considering your 1, 2, and 3 together on the Fibonacci extension tool, and putting the end of the 4th wave, which I would say it's maybe not this one. We maybe form a flat here and another flat. Okay, I think we could form a larger WXY throughout the next 1 to 2 weeks, even roll over. You know, we're still in the correction. It's just to point you out that this might not be the low. Maybe the low is here as we are developing a correction, and the targets will change. But a 5th wave, the most common target zone is 0.618, okay, extension counting 1, 2, and 3 together to the end of wave 4. 0.618 is one of the targets, which is currently 5,760 when we consider Elliott wave, you know, common targets for a 5th wave. But 5th waves can be an extension as well, especially if it's a hyped up market. A 5th wave can extend, which is basically being longer than the 3rd wave. We don't know. We need to take out the highs, and we need to analyze the internal waves that we are forming throughout the next couple of weeks. If that is the case, take out the high is your first main target, understanding that this is likely corrective price action. So another target zone is taking your wave 1 length, the length of your wave 1, and putting it at the low of your wave 4, and the 1-to-1 to the 1.618 extension, which is actually close enough to the 0.618 from the other projection. This is like your common target area of your wave 5, and wave 5s can double top from your wave 3 and not reach this target. Yeah, most common target area, let's just say, is taking all-time high with the projection of going to almost $6,000. Let's leave it that way. So yeah, this could get developed in the next coming weeks. We could still chop around here, test the lows, go sideways after a recovery. What is looking good for Ethereum is that this movement down is potentially a corrective structure already, because you have a kind of a 3-waver down. You got this bounce and the big drop from Friday. What is good about this Ethereum bounce when you go to the lower time frames is that you're hitting the golden pocket from the lower high created on Friday to the pivot low. That's a good sign. That means that this is unlikely a wave 3 already, and this is unlikely a wave 4. So what we're looking at here is potentially a triple zigzag situation, which is a corrective structure, and we're not looking for a wave 4 in this case at the moment, right? Well, not at the moment. We're just not looking for a wave 4 and a wave 5. The biggest move that we've had on Ethereum from Friday with the highest amount of volume is mainly labeled as a wave 3. When you have the highest amount of volume in a movement down, you always prioritize a wave 3. Always. Until proven otherwise, which is the case that we're having right now with this bounce. You always prioritize a wave 3. Siempre. Always. Unless the bounce for the potential wave 4 overlaps the golden pockets from your wave 2 lower high to the end of the big wave down. If you overlap that golden pocket, you're not looking for an impulse anymore. You're not looking for a wave 4 and then a wave 5, which is the case for Ethereum right now. As Ethereum's retraced over 61% of the drop that we had on Friday. Almost 78%. So wave 4 here, we do not consider it, which automatically needs to bring the corrective possible structures, which, you know, you might fit in a double zigzag scenario here, but I think it's more of a triple zigzag. You just your Z wave has been just aggressive, and it's got inside of the flush liquidation. So it's not looking impulsive to the downside. It's not looking impulsive, even though we had that major flush from Friday. So nothing has changed based on the analysis on Ethereum. We swept the lows from the 26th of September. Maybe we got some aggressive longs entering there. Probabilities remain to take out all-time high, guys. Nothing has changed based on the analysis. Also for Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin on the higher time frame looks still bullish. Still looks very bullish. We understood that this was an outcome, guys. We understood that we could get down below 107k. Be cautious, because this could happen, or you're short, right? And you made insane gains with the movement down. You swing short, basically. But we understood I didn't like this movement up anyway, right? I was like, this is not good. Who remembers that, guys? Who's been following the channel in the last few weeks? I preferred the price, you know that, to claim this low, to then break out later on. Because if we move up from here to new highs, ay, mi madre, no. This is not good, right? It's not good. Why? Because the market needs a little bit of symmetry. The market needs a little bit of symmetry. You need nice lengths of correction compared to the lengths of an impulse. And it's super important to understand that. And when we analyzed the correction, understanding that we're likely going to take out all-time high here because of this three-wave structure, but are we going to form a double zigzag? Are we going to form a sideways correction? Or are we going to form a flat? Or are we going to form a zigzag down, zigzag up, boom, C wave in a flat, sweep up the low, and yeah, then we can recover later on, right? Which has been the scenario this literally happened, right? We can say that is the scenario that's kind of happened. And the moment we started recovering to hit new all-time highs in the last 2 weeks, it's never good. I was already talking about on the probability side, guys, on the higher time frame. The probabilities for us to rally from here and go to Valhalla is very, very small. And let me just bring you that explanation here back again. The main reason why it was very low probability to go to infinite levels, right, and get a major move up to higher prices with the risk of the price dropping down here with the potential of claiming below 107k was because of this contracting diagonal to the upside, this 5-wave move up in an impulse, well, in a contracting diagonal, sorry, a motive wave. If you expect this to be the end of the correction of this multi-monthly rally in a 5-wave structure, and you believe that this has been the correction to absolutely moon later on, then, it's not proper technical analysis. We talked about the danger of going to all-time high from here without, forming a larger range or a double zigzag down. The danger of going to all-time high, would say danger, but I mean, this doesn't matter, guys. The danger for people that are leverage trading with no good risk management, that's the danger. And getting into the hype, right, and altcoins and rest of it, very, very cautious. But if you believe that we are going to go to much higher prices, forming this higher low after this 5-wave move up, then you got it wrong, right? You got it wrong. You just need to be very, very aware of the outcome, which one of the scenarios was forming that flat eventually, because of timing and the retracement, the Fibonacci retracement. When we take the lows of Friday, of April, at $75,000 to the all-time high that we had here, we didn't even retrace to the 382, which is rare. 70 plus 75% of times in a market, in an impulse or to the downside or to the upside, over 75% of the times, which is it's high probability, right? When we consider plus 70% of times, it's high probability. Over 75% of the times, you retrace to the 382 Fibonacci after a 5-wave structure. And when we consider time, also over 75% of the times, when I say over, it's more than that, right? You finish a retracement after the 382 Fibonacci time, which is this blue vertical line on the chart, which we crossed right now, so that's all good. But when you consider that 5-wave move up, the retracement to continue the bull run and go to much higher levels, that's like rare. That's very, very rare. Very, very rare. We're talking about, less than 25% of the times, right? I mean, it's much less than that when you put together the timing and the retracement not hitting the 382 Fibonacci from the highs to the low, from the lows to the highs. This happens, less than 5% of the times, give or take, right? It might be less than that. So you just need to be super aware of, with this explosive move that we had since Friday all the way up till the all-time high from August, for this to be the retracement down at 107K and really rally here to very high levels, you just think this would be rare, right? It's not, it doesn't usually do that. Markets don't usually do that. They at least cross the 382 Fibonacci time, which is 38% of the time, right, from the impulse, and also at least retrace to the 382 Fibonacci retracement over 75% of the times on any market. So you come with a conclusion that this rally is no es bueno. It's not good. And eventually, if you're forming this zigzag and you got this 3-wave move up, you're aware of that ABC flat, right? Which is, it's one scenario. I'm not talking about here that we predicted this. We understood that it could happen, right? We understood it could happen. So, and yeah, just taking into consideration timing and retracement right there, the 382 was not even hit on retracement or timing. So, and when you understand that over 75% of the times it is hit, you realize how dangerous a movement up to all-time high can be if you consider that being the low. So yeah, just talking about higher time frame. What about 94K, Vano? What about 94K? Hitting $94,000? Yeah, I mean, we could still. This is the thing about Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is almost. Ethereum's good. I like Ethereum. Ethereum's done a good job with the bounce. I would say Bitcoin is literally just touched the golden pocket, which is actually a good sign from the last lower high. From the major drop, just hit the golden pocket, probably just scratched it or missed it by a hair, Yeah, it did hit it. It did hit the golden pocket. So that's already good. That's already good here. Golden pocket usually gets a rejection. It usually gets a reaction and a possible rejection. But hitting the golden pocket from the move of Friday, literally going on this bounce to the golden pocket above the 61%, that is good. That means that we are unlikely seeing an impulse down here. This is not a wave 4, right? Maybe the movement has finished, right? We've seen a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 right on the wick on Friday, but this is very common. It's good. That means that this is unlikely a wave 3 and a wave 4 forming right there, which is good. Same for Ethereum. Ethereum, we're not looking for a wave 4 here. We're looking at this to be corrective still, this movement down. And as mentioned, when we do consider the previous cycles, guys, when we consider the previous cycles and we take a look at these massive liquidation events, okay, historically they've marked a bottom, especially when you get the fear and greed index going to extreme fear. This is absolutely awesome, guys. This is good. This is kind of good news. This is good stuff. This is what we want to see, right? To be confident in a potential recovery. And this is what's usually happened historically, right? Which the ones that come to my mind is the C19 crash eventually, and the bear market lows. You might think, well, this is not, we've had a massive bull run already, so it's not the same in a bear market to have this liquidation event than at the possible end stages of a bull run, right? It's like, it's not the same. It's not the same. But usually these massive liquidation events have formed a local bottom, and that the prices have recovered very aggressively after these liquidation events, right? And I do get it. A lot of people might think this was at the low of the bear market. We were in bear market stages, and it marks the bottom of the bear market. We're literally at the top here. Just hit all-time high last week. Couldn't it be a sign that people are selling aggressively? Well, as explained, on Bitcoin and Ethereum, we are still looking at high probability correction from the because we moved up in a 3-wave structure to the upside. And Ethereum, we have extreme corrective price action since all-time high. Despite getting this liquidation event, this movement down, nothing changes. When it will change for Ethereum is going to the golden pocket from this pivot low to the pivot high. Crossing 3,200 is where it changes. This whole thing changes. So we're still looking for a recovery and to hit all-time high again on Bitcoin and also Ethereum, guys. Nothing has changed, despite having this pretty aggressive move down. Let's go through the comment section, guys, and say hello to the beautiful community. We talked about some day trading setups on Friday in the pro community, and we will do consistent more day trading scenarios in the pro community, especially Monday to Friday. If you're interested in joining the pro community, check out the link down below, guys. Join the community. We actually talked about the rejection from 122.3k on Friday to take out the local lows as a day trade setup. If we got the extra crash, then people that shorted that scenario are very happy. Yes, Andy, I went back also. These events do mark a bottom. Sin Games does not mean we can't come and test the lows, people, so entry here is a risk. For sure, it's a risk. ICP, please, we're still going to $20. I got stopped out from my ICP swing long. Very aggressive move down. I do have, it's less now, but I invested over $50,000 on ICP in between $5 and $4. Now, eventually we got this automatic rally. That's fine. I just got into this liquidation event, but it was less than my 1% of my trading capital. I let the people know in the trading community that this is less than 1% of my trading capital. If ICP decides to create a liquidation event, then I'm going to get stopped out at $2.80, I think it was. $2.80 or $2. But yeah, the lows basically of the bear market. So, but we got a pretty epic bounce. I hold a significant amount of ICP regarding spot. It's probably worth less than $30,000 at the moment, but this is no moment to panic. I just need to hold this till it actually goes to zero or it recovers drastically. So, and these events usually mark a bottom. So what can we say? You know, I bought most of my ICP in this region, so hopefully it's going to get above that in the next coming weeks and months. We'll see. ICP is a blockchain project that's still live. It works. I expect this to recover in the future, regardless of this event. Okay. Tradingview is not loading here, so we'll move on. We'll do a little bit of ICP. Good morning, my brother, 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍. Shout out to you, my man. Much love to you. Let me go here through 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍 channel. Check out 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍, guys, because he does a lot of scalping, live scalping on his live streams, guys, on Bitcoin. Go and check him out if you don't know who he is, guys. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍, absolutely awesome guy. Awesome guy. I do hop in his live streams once in a while. Hang on a second, I'm just getting your channel here ready, my man, just to give you that beautiful shout out as always. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍, guys, check him out. Great guy. He does live trading Monday to Friday, and yeah, great education, live trading setups, a lot of VWAP, order blocks, golden pocket 7-8 Fibonacci zones, looking for scalping entries. Go and check him out, guys. Superb guy. And yeah, shout out to you, brother. Much love. Appreciate you, family. Much love, my man. What a major shakeout. I hope you stayed safe. I got stopped out on an ICP swing long position. It was a small amount from my trading capital. It was the only trade. I know a lot of people that had lots of long positions and adding to longs and stuff like that. And wow, you know, lots of people got exterminated if they were long in altcoins. We were just going through how ridiculous the wick that was formed on ADA, for example, on Binance, when we're taking a look at US dollar tether perpetual futures, basically. On Coinbase, we stopped at 60 cents, and on Binance and most of the other futures exchanges, I'm sure, we went down to 26 cents. So Coinbase stopped here on spot, and futures went all the way down an extra 50%. People that are using over a 5x leverage and they're adding to their positions at these lows or these lows, they got exterminated. They got exterminated. And I feel super sorry for all of those people that have this kind of mentality of adding to the position and stuff like that, because there will be these events that will wipe you out. And you probably built up a solid, crypto trading, capital portfolio throughout the last few months or even few years, and you literally got wiped out on one single event because of, I'm going to put limit longs beneath this low or this low. And guys, that I am extremely against this kind of trading. Add to the position and stuff like that. you're using more than a 5x here, and there's no chance you made it throughout this dip. No chance. No chance. If you're using more than a 5x leverage, which is not much, right? With all the amount of leverage that we can use right now in crypto. I mean, you know, even if you use 5x and you have limit longs or whatever here, you did not make it after this event on Friday. You did not make it. And just one single event, and you might have had an incredible trading last, you know, few months or few years, and you've been greedy and you've got hyped up with Q4 of, you know, the 4-year cycle theory, and we're going to absolutely moon in October. One single event has wiped your entire account, right? I know a lot of people have got hurt with this event. And yeah, I mean, I am so against, guys, this whole thing about adding to position and stuff like that, guys. Do not trade like that. There will be one event that will wipe you out. And people that follow me for a long time, they do know that I do not support that idea. I never have done. You can add to the position if it's 1% and you have a stop loss and you're losing 2% maybe or 3% of your capital. That's okay. But I know most of the people don't do that. So 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍 from Canada, guys. Thank you very much, my man, for the $50. 50 Canadians. I'll have a few beers with that, my man. Thank you very much. Too kind, my man. God bless. Happy Sunday. Much love to you, brother. Hope you're doing well, and I hope this event, I know this event hasn't done anything to you. You have experience. You've got good risk management. You mainly trade Bitcoin. I know that you're doing good. This event has done nothing to you, I'm pretty sure. I was hiking. Much love, 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍, guys. Go and check him out. Ukrainian crypto influencer Konstantin Galish ended his own life inside his Lamborghini amid historic market crash. Yeah, guys. I mean, yeah, this is the thing. This is the thing. Wow, this is incredible. Super bad news here. There's without a doubt a lot of people that have got exterminated, guys. The best thing that you can do is hold. I mean, with my experience, no financial advice, is, you know, most of my portfolio is in Bitcoin. I do hold significant stable coins. I have been taking profits on my Bitcoin holdings at all-time high. This was, I let you know this on the previous stream. Once we did hit all-time high here, I let the people know that I'm selling 15% of my Bitcoin holdings. Just because we need to take profits. Ethereum also, I sold over 15% of my Ethereum holdings at all-time highs. We do not leverage trade and add to positions and get to any of these silly, not responsible way of trading, guys. These are the events, and we get these kind of news coming out, right? Some Ukrainian crypto influencer, yeah, I mean, you know, committing suicide, right? Took his own life. It's super sad, guys. Super sad. I really felt bad with this market crash. Just understanding how much people would have lost so much. So much. I got stopped out of an ICP long, you know, so be it. You know, I'm transparent about it, guys. It's no issue for me. But yeah, it's super sad. We're going to get many of these stories coming out in the next coming days of you know, hopefully not, but you know, when I saw this on Friday evening, I was out with my missus and was not paying attention to this. I did see this major crash, and I instantly felt super bad for other people, guys. Instantly, I was like, wow, so many people must have got extremely wrecked with this event. And it makes me sad, guys. It makes me sad because it's inevitable, right? People trade irresponsibly. People will have limit longs and rest of it, cross margin. And there's no way out. There's no way out of these events, guys. There's no way out. And you're going to get all of these exchanges with overload, right? They're going to freeze. They will not let you take action. And there's no way out, guys. It's a trap. It's a complete trap if you've had limit longs. And it's a trap, guys. It's a complete trap. And you do get these events once a year or once every other year, right? They do happen. And you might have done really well the last few months and years, and it wipes you out, guys. And then we get these kind of stories, which is devastating. And I feel super sorry, guys, for all of these people. Super sorry. We concentrate more on day trading on Bitcoin and Ethereum, look at probabilities on Bitcoin, on the Telegram, in the pro community. We talked about a short trading setup. It was a day trade. We explained the plan and we explained the risk management that we are willing to take. And we were explaining that inside of this consolidation, the probabilities were to take out this high and form a three-wave structure. And there was a good chance that we could reject here at the golden pocket, which we also had a point of control from this region. It was previous day point of control as well. Yeah, it wasn't from here. I think it was previous day point of control. I might have it still here on the folder. To get that rejection on Friday's update, it's a day trade, and we explain, right, faking out above 122k, and we talk about the trading plan. So you need to hit this level, you get the rejection, and once you get the rejection, if you enter the trade, your stop loss goes above the wick of the rejection. So we explain risk management, we explain the confluence of the resistance, the possible projection after sweeping up the local highs of Friday to look for a short position, right, and look for that rollover with one pattern that could happen, which is a contracting diagonal. This pattern did not form, but it doesn't matter, right? Because we talk about the entry point, we talk about the stop loss, and we talk about the projection, which is claiming the low. Whatever happens next, we didn't have a long plan here. Whatever happens next, we need to analyze. Once the market slows down, we reclaim some levels, we form a little bit of a range, but we nuked from here literally, right? We did not form this contracting diagonal, but the short trading plan was actually at 122.3k zone, which is, you know, where we got the rejection. I'm pretty curious right now about, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, it was literally the point of control of this entire range, right? Yeah, there we go. This was the scenario on Friday. Golden pocket from this movement down, a three-wave structure, rejection. If you reject, you're looking for your entry here. So you need that rejection at the golden pocket. And this is a day trade, guys, right? No nonsense, no adding to position, none of that. This was a technical entry zone, stop loss after the rejection. Or if you, rejection from the point of control or this lower high, and you are projecting the lows. I mean, this was the day trade. We were looking for the lows to be claimed, right? If you get this extra drop, then you got a good entry. But this was the projection trade. It's a day trade. We were not expecting this waterfall. So yeah, that was based on the Friday update, right? Just to let you know how we analyzing the market, how we getting ready on some setups, and that was Friday's update. Okay, which was, you know, we're looking for that movement down here. So yeah, let's go through the comment section. Ethereum and Bitcoin getting a pretty nice bounce today, guys. Sunday, I think we have rumors that apparently on Friday that this whole tariff thing, right, from US and China, apparently there's going to be a deal right now happening this week, and everything's going to be okay. So exchanges took advantage to wipe as much people as possible throughout all of crypto, mainly. Zcash held pretty nicely. I did see that. And apparently everything's going to be, okay with all this tariff thing, which is technically speaking, when we consider Elliott wave theory, it still all points out that it's good. Ethereum's still in the range. And Bitcoin also is in the projection of hitting new all-time highs. Still, there's no signs of the top of the bull run, guys, even with this event. Okay, that's the probabilities on the higher time frame. We've moved up and we finished in a three-wave structure. This is unlikely the top of the market, even with this event. You take that with a pinch of salt, but I'm only a messenger here. And on the higher time frame, it is still low probability that this has been the top of the market, finishing in a three-wave move to the upside. And that Ethereum, with the type of movement that we've had to the downside from all-time high, three-wave down, this bounce up to claim this lower high, there's no motive wave inside of here. This is extremely corrective price action, and it's unlikely that this is the high on Ethereum, and we're likely to see new all-time highs at some point in the near future eventually, right? Invalidation for this is hitting $3,200, which is the golden pocket to invalidate that wave 4. That's what I can that's what I can tell you guys. Probabilities for the highs to be in on Ethereum and Bitcoin are very low, and we have high probability in hitting new all-time highs for both Bitcoin and Ethereum in the near future. We'll do a little bit of more technical analysis. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍, much love. I agree, top is not in. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍, all these moves have been corrective over past 3 months. Very true, my man. Very, very true. Go and check out 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍, guys. Superb guy. I do hop into his lives once in a while. So many people got hurt, he's saying. Very upsetting. Yeah. FK Andy, I sold my spot bags yesterday. Should I buy back? I'm not here to tell you if you what you should do. You know that no crypto YouTuber is a financial advisor. That includes myself eventually. I'm just here to say that it's unlikely that this is the top of the bull market. Okay? Unlikely. Extreme fear. This is wonderful, guys. This is extremely good. And you sold into fear. And we want to be aggressive when we have extreme fear. Okay? Considering Elliott wave theory, we are still looking for high probability to hit all-time high on Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are the main characters, right, in the crypto space. So if that does happen, we will likely see many altcoins getting an interesting recovery thanks to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we analyze the main players, and the main players say all-time high is still likely to be hit again. I cannot tell you if you should get back in again. Take responsibility. Andy, are we all going to make it? We are, my man. Tom Crown here with 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍. I got the legends here. Go and check out Tom Crown as well. Shout out to you, brother. He does the best funk live streams throughout the crypto space, guys. Okay? He is the #1 on the Funk Minutes press conference. Go and check him out, guys. Tom Crown. I'm sure that a lot of people know who Tom Crown is. Great educational videos as well. Go and check him out, guys. He does the best live streams covering the Funk press conference. Everybody joins his live stream when there's FOMC meeting. Shout out to you, brother. So we are going to make it. Of course, we're going to make it. We are all good. We all good. We all good. This has just been a little shakeout. And looking at the charts, probabilities are still to take out all-time high for Bitcoin and for Ethereum when we consider Elliott wave theory, which is very powerful, right, to give you the probability side of the market, as you do know. Much love to you, my man. Thanks for joining. Bull runs over, dump it. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think it is. 147k top for BTC, says Nessa. Maybe. It is possible. It is possible. I mean, these are random numbers, of course. I mean, I'm not sure why. Is it a Fibonacci extension or expansion? It might be. Is it a Fibonacci expansion? 147K, top of the bull run. It's the 2.618 expansion from this consolidation since August. Maybe 150K. Level by level, right? Wave by wave. What we do understand is all-time high is highly likely to be hit. And unlikely that the top is in for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then you take that with a pinch of salt. I'm just a crazy guy on YouTube that's just giving you my opinion. Andy, could you please take a look at CRV? I hope everyone recovers soon, says Lou. Trump Truth Social. What's going on? Join the Legends community, says Staffer1. Absolutely. Don't worry about China. It will all be fine. Yeah, I mean, apparently, this whole tariff thing from Friday, they say it's a misunderstanding. They're going to get into a deal and it's not too bad. So we can expect a recovery of the market based on that outcome. Now that the plebs got destroyed and BlackRock got a good entry, we can go up. Thanks for playing, though. Yeah, Kai, that's true. Bro, that's not a little shakeout. Come on. I know it. I know it's not. I didn't get shaked out too bad. Okay? I'm pretty good. And I know that, you know, Alex O'Crypto, Tom Graham, I'm sure they're pretty good as well. Mainly as spot holding is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink, as you do know. My only swing long that I had on an altcoin was ICP, which I was happy to lose $15,000 on that. It was just, you know, I'm happy to take that loss, but I know that, man, lots of people, they got hurt with this. Just ADA itself, which is one of the top, you know, cryptos by market cap. On the exchanges, 65% dump just on Friday on the futures exchanges. So there's no way that people long in Dogecoin, ADA, or whatever, the high cap coins, which they think it's going to hold, it won't get such a big drop. Well, surprise, surprise, right? Whoever had the irresponsible way of trading of putting limit longs beneath these lows, they filled the longs and they got liquidated. So yeah, they grabbed more money, more liquidity, right? And got you liquidated. I mean, if there's no way out of this, guys. If you are putting limit longs beneath the lows, there's no way out. It's a trap. There's no way out of this. You know these crazy thumbnails and titles of different influencers out there that say it's a trap. Well, yeah, this is the trap. That is the trap. But it would be nice for the people to come out a few hours before that and say it's a trap. Do not long, because we're going to sweep all of the higher lows of the last few months. It's a trap, guys. It would be nice, right? But yeah, unfortunately, that does not happen. Link dipped to $8. Yeah, on futures, I'm sure it did. When you take a look at Link on potentially Link on Coinbase, I'm sure it did not hit $7. I haven't checked. Yeah, Link did pretty okay. It went down to $15 on Coinbase, but on futures, I mean, yeah, let's take a look at Binance. Like you said, almost $8. Yeah, pretty insane. There's no way out from here, guys. No way out. No way out. Whoever was putting limit longs here. Unless there was someone that just had a limit long here, right? Which is, I don't think it was many. I think people were very interested in longing here anyway. This is an absolute extermination event. And yeah, I feel sorry because who got their liquidated money? Exchanges. Yeah, the exchanges have got the money basically on this event. Most of the exchanges are B-Books, guys. Most of the crypto exchanges are B-Books, which means it's their capital. They understand that most of the traders lose money. So they keep their money, right? And they create these events, guys. They create these events. They take advantage of an event like this, and if they know that there's lots of liquidity, they will take advantage and make the wick a little bit longer, right? Make the move a little bit longer. So do not trade like that, guys, by placing lots of limit longs. You will. I got stopped out on ICP as well, my man. Yeah, I shared that on my video update yesterday, but it was a small percentage. I did not add to the position. I was letting the people know that for me to add to the position, we need to see a sign of strength. So I just don't get why my stop losses didn't sell and my limit buys steps didn't buy. My tiny longs just managed to wipe my whole account. Yeah, this is the thing. Even though you had small longs, with this projection on, whatever crypto it is, Link, ADA, with these projections, if you're using cross margin and it's not isolated, if you use isolated margin on the exchange, you're going to have a liquidation event close to you if you're using more than a 5-10x leverage. But if you're using cross margin, and that's where the trap is, without a stop loss, even though your position here is $5, you just out of a random number here, and you have $5,000 in your account, this has the potential to wipe up your $5,000, even though you're in a $10 position if you're using cross margin with high leverage. That's a lot of people must have woken up on Friday or checked their portfolio on their trading account, and like you said, I don't understand why I was in a $50 position and it wiped up my account, which has $2,000, for example, right? Yeah, with this drop, with a bit of high leverage and cross margin, you are out of the game. Unless you have millions of dollars and you don't have a liquidation, which can be the case. If I wouldn't have put my stop loss, I didn't have a liquidation on my ICP trade. So I would still be in the trade and I wouldn't have lost, but it's just to be responsible, really. I would be in a $5,000 loss maybe now or something like that, but be responsible. The stop loss didn't trigger. I don't know, maybe I'm stupid. No, I don't think so. Your stop loss should have triggered, depending on what exchange. Bitcoin is a gift from God. It is indeed. Scott Parson, much love to you, my man. Thanks for smashing up the like button, legends. Much love to everybody. It is criminal. It is criminal. It is criminal, guys. Trade safe. Have stop losses. Lost 10K in minutes. Had $500 left on spot. Transferred back to futures. Flipped it to 7K. Wild ride. Very good. Very good. Very good. Trade safe, my man. And ADA at 0.4. I longed 𝗖𝗿 at 1. 10x. Yeah, I mean, lots of people must have tried to catch this falling knife for sure. When you get these severe events, you usually get a pretty good dead cat bounce, right? But the question is, where's the low, right? Where's the low? But I'm sure lots of people managed to catch this movement down on many different cryptos. Ethereum was the best shot, guys. I think Ethereum drop below 3,800. When you consider the analysis that was made on the video, I was explaining that maybe this could be the low on Ethereum. This one right over here. I did say this, guys. I cannot sugarcoat this. I really thought that this could have been the low. But if we were to come down to this below 3,800 to, get to 3,600 or so, which we just hit almost 3,500, in my personal opinion, this would have been the best buying or longing opportunity at below 3,800, because getting down to 3,200, which is the golden pocket, is unlikely. So you take that with a pinch of salt. It is a little bit of falling knife catching. It is dangerous. It is fine if you manage risk. You can get into a long position here and your stop loss is 3,200, which is 1%, and maybe add later on a sign of strength, make it 2-3% of capital. That's my general plan anyway here on Ethereum. Anyway, Staffer1 bluffing, claim VIP1 or VIP2, guys, 10% cashback. Also, you got bluffing. Great exchanges, weeks bluffing. You got the best deals down below, only for responsible traders, guys. Okay, this is to sign up for people that are managing risk. I always educate about risk management and not adding to position and not doing any of this silly trading, because this is going to happen one day and you're going to get liquidated. You're going to get burned. I am not a supporter of that way of trading. I am an educator. I share my trading setups, how to trade, track record, P&Ls, and I'm never in favor of adding to position and stuff like that beneath this low and stuff. Do not trade like that. Not risk high percentages on your trades, because there will be one event that happens once a year or once every other year that's going to wipe up your account if you trade irresponsibly. But anyway, if you are a responsible trader, you got the best bonuses down below, guys. Bluffing is, for me, one of the favorite at the moment, that just requires an email and a password. Okay, if you do a minimum deposit, you got access to the VIP channel, which is where I share, my, higher time frame trading setups. But I'm going to be a little bit more active with day trading setups. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a DM on the Telegram and just sign up throughout one of the exchanges down below that has very good bonuses. Okay. Happy birthday, Crypto Legend. That's for my mum. Exchanges tokens are recovering best. Exchanges tokens, I bet they are. Zora, what's the top bottom coin that has potential? Zora. Zcash did pretty damn well with a crash. It actually got to higher levels. Zora, yeah, I'm not sure what this is. We ain't going to do TA on this one. Anyway, guys, we didn't do much analysis, but I will do tomorrow, okay? This was a bit of a Sunday weekend chill out. Much love to everybody. All right, it is late. We've just been talking, and it's been a bit of a Q&A session and talk about the crash and talk about how still nothing has changed regarding the uptrend and regarding the correction. I'm just here to say that likely that Bitcoin does hit all-time high, and Ethereum as well, in the very near future, guys. Nothing has changed, and this is just a good flush of the market. Last times we've had this event in the past, they've actually been very, very good to get a massive recovery. Extreme fear, bring it on, guys. You know what happens after extreme fear. We recover nicely. So take that with a pinch of salt, guys. Stay safe. I'll be back with more on a live stream tomorrow. Smash up the like button. Stay safe, everybody. Daniel Singleton. We didn't talk about much Bitcoin, actually. Bitcoin analysis. We didn't do that. We didn't do much. Just talked about the probabilities that this is unlikely to be the top of the market, okay? That's my opinion. Okay, so it looks all good, especially Ethereum. Ethereum looks more bullish than Bitcoin, if you ask me. Much love to everybody. Thank you very much. You got the exchanges down below, bluffing, weeks. They got great deals down below, guys, only for responsible traders. Okay, and you got the VIP or the community where we share daily analysis every single day. Join the community down below. Much love. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we are actually going to do some Bitcoin analysis and still a dead cat bounce. Let's, you know, form a little bit of a range and a little bit of the structure, and we can come to the conclusion. But it's unlikely that this is an impulsive move down for the moment, especially on Ethereum. This is likely a corrective move down, even though it doesn't look like it, based on the volume that we had on Friday. Everything points out that this is still part of a corrective structure, guys. Much love, stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.